everything purple and gold. If it's happening in sports, let's talk about it on Tiger Talk with the #1 sports announcer Lynn Rollins and Bart Smokey.
The truth of the matter is, when you look at any given roster, you got X percent that are going to not make it academically. You got X percent that are going to not make it for disciplinary reasons, and you've got X percent that aren't good enough to play. And that's just the way it is. Every team, every year.
I think, in all honesty, going from high school to major college is a much dicier move than going from college to pro, because I think there are more people that don't make it that aren't good enough. You know, so
that's an interesting hypothesis.
And so you have a lot more misses in recruiting or drafting, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
I think in college than you do in pro.
That would be an interesting study. I mean, really, you're onto something here. The percentage of your 85-man full scholarship football roster that, by some measure, plays significantly or plays enough to, quote, matter, and the percentage of the 7 draft picks plus the free agents who actually make the pro team or practice squad. Right. That to compare those numbers, that's interesting. That's an interesting hypothesis. That may be the most interesting question you have ever raised in 14 years. I mean, seriously, this is good stuff. Some master's degree sports management student needs to latch onto this. We'll suggest it to Mike Scarborough. You know, he'll put Brian Lazar on it.
You know, Brian. Yeah,
well,
Brian.
That's his thing.
Yeah, I was going to say, Mike ain't going to do it.
Well, no, but that's his thing. All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, Coach Stephen Adams from the LSUA baseball team will join us.
This is Tiger Talk on the 100,000-watt blowtorch, Kzmz.
To the phone lines we go. We thank you guys for answering the challenge. You're on the air. What's on your mind?
Oh, I'm always up for a challenge. This is Forrest.
Yes.
I've been wanting to ask y'all, what's happened to the beach volleyball season?
I have.
But Forrest, congratulations. Forrest, this is the first call in the history of Tiger Talk that we have had someone inquire about beach volleyball. No, there's nothing has happened to it. It's a spring sport, and they will be playing, I think, again in Baton Rouge this year, but they're actually building an on-campus beach volleyball court.
No.
Yes.
Court. Just a court. We're not putting it under a roof or anything.
That I don't know.
I mean,
no, it's going to be an outside facility.
I don't know. I got a problem with beach volleyball. Hey, look, first of all, we have to make a beach to have a beach volleyball. It's not like we're near the ocean.
That's
okay?
correct. That's correct.
All right, so we got to make our beach. One.
That's correct.
Two, most of these girls that are beach volleyballers are volleyballers already. You know, they're
not all.
But it's to me, it's like, okay, we need to have a sport so we can make some hit certain numbers and stuff. I don't know. It just came out of nowhere. It went from never even being talked about as a sport.
Do you know it was an NCAA sanctioned championship event last year for the first time?
Oh, good grief.
Because there was enough participation across the land. A few northern teams have beach volleyball. I think Nebraska does. I think Oregon does. But in those cases, they build their beach indoors.
They better build it indoors.
Right.
Because it would be snow volleyball.
That's correct.
Was #1 sports reporter, Tiger Talk on KZMZ 96.9.
But the kid is a player, and I think, given what I have heard, he'll be your backup quarterback to Etling. After that, Etling will retire, and then it'll be him and these 2 new guys, Narcisse and Miles Brennan.
Excellent.
Everything you wanted to know.
Thank you.
Everything you wanted to know about the current LSU quarterback situation. I told you he was our expert.
I know a lot more about that than I do beach volleyball.
Hey,
all right, we got to get to trivia. Thanks for the call. A very good question. All right, basketball is the topic of today's quiz. On January 3rd, 1972, the Pete Maravich Assembly Center opened for its first basketball game. Who was the LSU opponent that night? January 3rd, 1972, first LSU basketball game in the Pete Maravich Assembly Center. Who was the opponent? LSU got beat, by the way. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Bama.
No. You're next. Go ahead.
Mississippi State.
No. who was the first LSU basketball opponent in the Pete Maravich Assembly Center on January 3rd, 1972. The score was 80-73. You're on the air. Go ahead.
How about Kentucky?
No, not Kentucky. You are next. Go ahead.
Florida.
Nope, not Florida. but you're on the right track.
Y'all are moving in the right direction.
You're on the air. Go ahead. 484-2969. We'll let the phones reset. You're next.
Georgia.
No, not Georgia.
We're knocking them down.
You're on the air. Go ahead.
Vanderbilt?
It was Vanderbilt, sir.
All right.
The Commodores beat LSU 80-73 that night. Congratulations. Whether it be by the process of elimination or you just knew the answer, you've won a nice prize, courtesy of La Capital Federal Credit Union and all the folks who help us with the Tiger Trivia Quiz.
All right.
What's your first name?
Mark.
Okay, Mark, hang on. We'll take our final break of the show. John will give you the details about claiming your prize. And when we return, it's Mike
every
Scarborough.
Monday, 4 to 6 p.m. with Lynn Rollins and Bart Smokey on KZMZ 96.9.